What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday. Hopefully, everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy, testing negative for the viruses, and having a great day so far. It is time now for the Saturday edition of the Virus Update for Saturday, June 21st, 2025. If you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the daily virus update on all those viruses that can make us sick. Let's face it, there's a lot of viruses out there, and you need to be informed of what's going on. Oftentimes, we do data-filled updates from home. Today we are out in the wild doing an out in the wild data-filled update. But the updates from home will resume again on Tuesday. So if you want to stay informed with what's going on with the latest data, news, COVID numbers, other viruses as well, subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell and share this video with anyone you know. And of course, leave your comments down below. Already, we do have several things to talk about today. We have to talk about the viruses. Then we have to talk about the air qualities, and that's going to lead up to something else. We have to talk about extreme heat. Yes, heat-related illnesses are going to be a big problem this upcoming week. It's going to be really hot in some areas. We also have some new data from CJS that in COVID numbers for the last weekend, there are two places in particular that are really trending in the wrong direction. You'll want to stay around for that. All right, starting off in India. India, maybe they're trending in the right direction now. COVID-19 active cases in India further decline. They slipped down to 5,012 cases. So it would appear that in India, they had a really rapid rise. Then that quickly peaked, and now they're seeing a really rapid drop. Very interesting. We know they miss a lot of cases, obviously, but good to see that India is now finally starting to drop. And I say the words finally, but really they went up really quick and they dropped really quickly. Is that going to be a sign of what could happen here in the United States? Honestly, I don't know. Let's go over to Utah now. Utah's first measles case in years reported in Utah County. Yes, measles case is now being reported in Utah. Hey, maybe not far from Salt Lake City, so this is not good. Sticking with measles, Alberta, Canada surpasses 1,000 total cases of measles after reporting 24 new measles infections. So, yeah, Alberta now joins the 1,000 club when it comes to measles cases. That's not a good thing whatsoever. All right, we have to take a look at this. This is from Sci-Fi. New CDC reports 3 states and D.C., meaning Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, have flu-like illness records. Most regions are higher than 2019 levels, so higher than pre-COVID levels. HHS region 9 and COVID-19 positivity is over 5%. That's not good. Also, this new SARS-2 COVID positivity increased for the fourth week in a row in Los Angeles and is now the highest since September. So it is very clear things are starting to rise in Los Angeles, California. Notably, there's also a spike in mortality to epidemic status. So, yeah, that's not good either. All right, want to find something about COVID studies or different things? We share a lot of COVID studies here on the site or here on the channel throughout the course of my pandemic updates and now known as virus updates. You can find an archive of them over on my website. You basically click on one, and then within that there'll be a link. I'll tell you when it's published. Well, the newer ones will tell you when they were published, and you click on the link and it takes you over to the website of the study. Most recently, we talked about long COVID associated with substantial kidney decline 1 year after infection. I see that was posted on here. Did not share that here on the video. And there's a whole bunch of things. And also, aspirin lowers diabetes risk during COVID-19, but not without side effects. You can read that full study. There's a whole bunch of different things that are on here. I am behind on some things. Probably maybe Tuesday I'll catch up because, like I said, we got to talk about that heat, and we're coming up to that in just a moment. All right, going back to measles for just a second, the United States now has 1,214 confirmed cases of measles. All right, take a look at this. Yeah, air qualities are starting to get bad in the east, and it's going to stay bad in the east probably through at least the middle of next week, if not late next week, because when you have really high heat indexes and high temperatures, oftentimes bad air qualities do go with that, especially in the east. I've noticed that is a thing, and you can see here it is starting to Still up. All right, let's talk about that heat. And just an example. Here's for me at home. This is the Philadelphia area. This is East Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. We're talking high temperatures. Yeah, at or above 100. And a lot of times, and maybe I have some followers from Arizona. Oh, well, we're used to that. Okay. You don't always get the humidity. We're getting the humidity with that on the East Coast. This is up and down the East Coast. Heat indexes is going over 100. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. This is dangerous for people like me who have asthma, or for others, or people like me who have long COVID, and then others who have COPD or maybe elderly. Please, very important that you are limiting your time outdoors. And it's not just the East. Take a look at some of the central region. Millions of people are under heat advisories, extreme heat warnings. This is really bad. Here's the American computer model. And it starts off with temperatures. Here's for today, but take a look here. Northern Plains. Yes, you're seeing 100. Watch what happens as I advance into tomorrow. 90s up and down the East Coast. And as we get to Monday, you're seeing these whitish colors. Yeah, those are temperatures over 100. Look at Tuesday. You're seeing Virginia, 104 degrees. North Carolina, 100. South Carolina. And you're seeing 90s all the way up into New England. This is dangerous heat. And this brings me to my next point. You're going to have to keep yourself hydrated. Let's pause for a second. Let's take that hydration break, shall we? Because keeping hydrated over this next week is going to be very important. And please make sure you are checking in on your elderly loved ones and your elderly neighbors. Make sure they at least have a fan running if they don't have AC. And if they do have AC, tell them, hey, it's really hot. I mean, sometimes when you're at an older age, you don't comprehend it. You don't know to put the air conditioner on. I know this was a problem. We had some neighbors last year that elderly neighbors, and they weren't putting their air on. Like, come on, it's really hot. You got to put the air on. They sometimes don't realize how hot it is, especially if they have dementia or Alzheimer's or something. So it is very important to stay safe from the heat. Let's take that hydration break now, shall we? Alrighty, moving on. I could talk about this topic for a long time, but it is very important. You need to keep safe from the heat. All right, Pinellas County, Florida. Not seeing a lot of calls there right now. We are definitely seeing a few calls. Florida is one of those concerning states. Let's see, did Philadelphia release their EMS call volume for Friday yet? We have to refresh this. If they did, it probably just came out. Nope, still nothing. That's okay. Taking a look at what's going on with Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. And I need to refresh this because it does not automatically refresh when I'm on a tethered connection. Okay, now it's not going to refresh at all. The point being is there were a few calls, not too many at this time. And if we can see Chester County, Pennsylvania, yes, we can. We do see sick person, heart problems. I'm expecting to see more of that. I'm expecting to see a lot of heat-related illnesses pop up into next week. Yeah, we can't get. We tried to get them up. Can we get Montgomery County? Here we go again. Yeah, not a lot of calls there right now. Just 7. That's actually not bad. And should we try and get the hospital data here for Pennsylvania? Remember, yesterday the hospitals in Pennsylvania were slightly busier, and I am already seeing here. Yeah, take a look at this. We're seeing emergency department overcrowding showing up and behavioral health issues at several hospitals. So there are still issues. Taking a look at what is going on in New Jersey today, and we can see New Jersey at this time. Look at that. Green all across the board. So that is some really good news coming out of New Jersey. New York, not really seeing the rise yet. We're going to probably see a rise that may start there relatively soon. So that I can tell you about New York. All right. We are now seeing a rise on something from CDC, which I did not show yesterday. Maybe I should have. And well, here we are today. This kind of contradicts. We had one title with the video yesterday, and we changed it because I don't know, yesterday's video, for whatever reason, didn't do well. Maybe because the day before did so well. But yeah, when you come to wastewater, forget that epidemic status map. I don't know what the deal is because I got multiple things that say, why is Florida not rising? It should be on that map, and it's not. And you can see here, uh, yes, wastewater from the CDC is now rising in the west. It's starting to rise in the south. The Midwest is starting to rise, and the national level is even starting to rise as well. You can see it here, pretty clear, starting to rise. And yes, we're back to low. It was very low. You can see it touched very low levels. Now it's back to low, and when I show all, well, you can see the West Coast, if it continues at the current pace, The West Coast may get up to moderate COVID levels pretty quick. And we can also see here in Alaska, levels are now high. Texas is now moderate. Florida is coming in at moderate. I think Florida is going to fast track to high and maybe even very high by the time we get into July. All right, let's take a look at some data from CJS. We will have that full wastewater update tomorrow. And I do want to tell you this. I do have a little note here. The new COVID wave could come in fast, and 4th of July will not help us. I'm saying it could come in fast because we're seeing Puerto Rico go up, we're seeing Florida go up, and we're seeing what happened in some of the other countries. When this wave came on, it came on quickly. But we're going to be a little different in the sense that we may have the XFG variant that we have to contend with. So that's something we're going to have to watch. And plus, we have a big national holiday coming up in just a little over a week and a half, 2 weeks. 4th of July. It's going to be a lot of barbecues, cookouts, and then plus this upcoming week. I just talked about the heat. Well, a lot of people are going to be trapped inside in the air conditioning. That could help get things going as well, because as we see in the South, in the North and the other places, we come outside in summertime. In the South, well, it's so stinking hot that they flock inside to the air conditioning, and yes, that could cause problems. All right, let's get to these numbers from CJS 83172. He's a poster that posts on our videos. Started doing it a very long time ago, and guess what? I thank him so much for doing this because this makes my job easier and it really informs you guys. And I feel I should showcase what he gives us numbers for many different states. All right, let's start off with the big bad numbers for Thursday from Florida. Yeah, on Thursday, Florida was up to 635 new cases in one day, including 12 deaths, which one comes from 2021, one comes from 2022. New York, daily number, 466 new cases. Puerto Rico, daily number. Yes, they had 714 cases in one day. They also had a high Wednesday number. I didn't include Wednesday here. I just found it, I got to mention this. I just found this Wednesday report yesterday. There's a problem going on with me finding comments on my videos. I don't know what it is. Certain users, I'm not seeing comments. So for a brief time only, we're going back to all comments. When you make a comment, it'll just be automatically approved. Anything that's held, that's YouTube that's automatically holding it. I don't have any restriction anymore. Some people already had their comment automatically approved, and now I have it to where all comments do because I'm trying to figure out what this issue is. Hopefully we can get it resolved because I like to respond to your guys' comments. All right, moving on. Connecticut, 269 new cases. Indiana, weekly number, 201 new cases and 3 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. Minnesota, weekly number, 200 new cases and 2 new deaths. North Carolina, weekly, 316 hospital visits for COVID-like illness and 2 new deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. New Jersey, 992 new cases, which includes most of the cases that have not been reported last week. Only 140 were, but weren't due to an error of some kind, and 11 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. New Mexico, weekly number, 166 new cases and 4 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. Now the Friday numbers, which have a couple really bad weekly numbers. Florida's one of them. 687 new cases and 7 deaths reported in one day. But here's their weekly number, 5,346 new cases and 31 deaths were reported over the past 7 days. Yes, Florida is now rapidly rising for COVID, to go along with 482 CDC reported hospitalizations, a big jump in CDC reported hospitalizations from last week. If Florida's a sign of what's to come, bad news. It's going to be a bad summer. New York, daily number, 463 new cases reported today and 2,733 cases reported over the past 7 days, to go along with 259 CDC reported hospitalizations and 14 new deaths. The state, for some reason, hasn't been updating their cumulative death counts, which is taken from provisional data released on Thursday in recent weeks. That's okay. So New York's not doing bad yet, but then we come to Puerto Rico. Really bad. Puerto Rico had 595 new cases. This was the daily number reported. And for the week, Puerto Rico, 3,374 cases and 5 deaths were reported over the past 7 days. All 5 deaths were reported on Tuesday, to go along with 199 CDC reported hospitalizations. Now, someone's probably thinking and getting ready to comment, oh, those aren't big numbers for Florida and Puerto Rico. They are big numbers for Florida and Puerto Rico. I don't have that box I always use at home with me, but people who don't test and at-home testing is a real thing. Uh, if you want to get a PCR test, most insurance companies at this point say you got to pay for that, because I can recall when my dad had COVID about a year ago or two, whenever that was, almost 2 years ago now. If you want to get a PCR test, it was going to cost like 150 or maybe it was $300. Those are big numbers because guess what? A lot of people are just not testing right now. Florida, come on. Yeah, that's a bad sign. Moving on, we got a lot more states. Arizona. Okay, before we get to that, the rest of the numbers are weekly tallies. Many states show numbers too low to justify posting here. So that's good. If we start seeing more states on here, that means, hey, things are starting to rise. Arizona, 591 new cases reported by the state Wednesday and 2 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. California, 2,861 new positive tests, a test case positivity rate over the past 7 days reporting of 4.43%, effectively unchanged from 4.47% last week. 513 CDC reported hospitalizations and 24 new deaths. The CDC data tracker added 137 deaths to their cumulative number for California, most of them from 2022. Georgia, and South Carolina. 5 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker for each state. Hawaii adds 200 new cases. Idaho, 271 emergency department visits and 1 death reported by the CDC data tracker. Louisiana, 455 emergency department visits, a test case positivity rate of 2.9%. Hey, this is good news. Down from 3.7% last week, and 4 new deaths. Strangely, Louisiana's flu test case positivity rate nearly doubled from 2.7% last week to 4.9% this week. Hey, more proof that flu is popping up at random, unexpected times. Ohio, 7 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. And Oklahoma reports a test case positivity rate of 3.1%, down from 3.6% last week, and 8 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. Oregon reports 6 new deaths. No new testing data was released this week. Pennsylvania, my state, 133 CDC reported hospitalizations and 7 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. And I need to zoom this out so we can see the rest of this. Rhode Island, 8 new deaths reported over the past several weeks. Texas, 1,150 new cases and 5 deaths reported by the CDC data tracker. And the CDC reports a national test case positivity rate of 3%, similar to last week. 3,365 nationally reported COVID-related hospitalizations, and the CDC data tracker added 309 deaths since last week and now shows 1,229,378 total COVID deaths since this all started, up from 1,229,069 it was showing last week at this time. However, over 100 of those deaths were from California in 2022. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Saturday edition of the Virus Update. We will have Wastewater Sunday tomorrow, whatever news I find. Tomorrow's video will probably come out between like 11 and 12 o'clock in the morning. Today's probably similar, 12 o'clock. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know. Leave your comments down below. If you want to support my work here on channel, there are ways to do that down below. All comments, like I said, are approved. If your comment doesn't get out there, that means YouTube automatically held it for whatever reason. They do have automatic moderation. Alrighty, folks, I will see you again tomorrow. Until I see you again tomorrow, stay safe. Please stay hydrated if you're in the areas of the heat. And yeah, have a fantastic Saturday afternoon. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.